Hey, I think I'm live, and hopefully, hopefully Beamer will be here in a second. I send him the link. I hope it all works out. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to do hand puppets and make up things that he might not have said and break stuff. But no, I'm really excited about this. This is cool. Okay, let's just wait. Hey, Chug Dude. All right. Hey, Philip. Good to see you. Awesome. Hey, Ryan. Awesome. Got a blue wrench in here. Okay, wait for some more folks to get in here. Just hey, Deadpool. Awesome. Good to see you. Hope everybody's doing well. Oh, there he is. Oh, he's here. All right, I'm gonna let him in.
Hold on. I got to get all dressed up.
Okay. All right, I'll take you out for a second, and then I'll let you back in.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna let him get ready. Oh, that's gonna work. All right. Hey, Tom. All right, this should be fun. All right, this guy's awesome. Now, he's gonna answer questions, and I'm gonna ask him some questions first. So hold your questions for a little bit, and please, please don't spam the chat with an unanswered question. Just let me just hold off. I know a lot of people want to ask him some stuff, but just hold off on asking him something. And then I will say, hey, let's ask him some questions and we'll go from there. All right, give me a thumbs up, Beamer, if you're in here. If you want to come in. Oh, not yet. He's not quite ready. All right, let's add him. All right. Are you ready, sir?
Yeah. I brought my kids with me.
All right, that's awesome. Oh man, this is so cool. It's so cool to see you.
How's your wife? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing awesome. We're doing fantastic. Just everything's going great. Couldn't go better.
Won't be long. I'll be seeing
How about
you.
yourself? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm busted up, but I'm good.
Oh, I heard you had some pretty bad injuries, man. Anything requiring the ER or anything like that?
The new video will have me with like 6 Band-Aids on. It kind of wore me out. The rib cage. Let's see here if I can show you this guy. There.
Oh,
That rib cage is all busted up. But I can hate to tell you that it will hurt your hands when you strike that thing.
what would you? I want to ask what you're hitting it with. That's probably a secret for right now, but
No, I've just finished the video. It's got Leatherneck, Max 5, my favorite, the Bear Class, Special Forces shovel, Katana in there, Warcraft. I got after it, buddy.
oh, that's so cool, man. I got to come up there and visit you. You got quite the setup up there. That's so awesome.
I get everybody this to sit there listening to this. Come on up.
All right, cool. All right, so I just wanted to kind of get into just a little bit about. I know a lot of people. I don't know how many people really know you or talk to you, but just I know you have. I know a lot about you, but I won't ask anything personal. But just how you kind of got started with the whole GSM deal and how that started out for you.
All right, so my background is in archery. In 1993, I'm starting to age myself here. Brooks Johnson and I started a company called Double Bull Archery. It was a hunting blind company. Well, we built that into a pretty good success. I sold that to Primos Hunting Calls, and I worked for them for 8 years after that. Then I came up with some new ideas in the archery world. So I developed broadhead, got picked up by New Archery, and full time with them. Then I'm getting an echo. Are you getting an echo?
I'm getting a little bit of echo from you. I'm not sure how to fix that.
I don't either. Can you hear me there?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, it's still an echo. Anyhow, so I designed a couple new broadheads for new archery products. GSM came in and bought new archery products. I came over with the GSM outdoors, and then we purchased Cold Steel and SOG and but that's where I came over from. Was I did audio visual for GSM Outdoors, and with Cold Steel, great fan club and their YouTube. That's where I took with this after working with it.
Now you really you. Let me see. I should have be able to fix this somehow. And now,
You talk to me.
okay.
That sounds better.
Now, when you came into the whole cold steel thing, you really didn't know a whole lot of. I mean, you were a hunter and all that, but you didn't know a lot about the specifics of knives and stuff.
Zero. I have carried, up to this point, I had carried a Wayne Depperschmidt knife. It was a gentleman out in Colorado that swapped me one of the first hunting blinds that we ever made for a custom-made knife. And I had carried that knife from like 1994 up until 2020 when we bought Cold Steel. That was the only knife that I had. It was a little fixed blade, like 4-inch, and it had been sharpened down to the point where it was probably a 3-inch by the time I put it away and grabbed Cold Steel. But I always used that knife and that knife only. So as far as my knowledge or education, it was all a learning curve. So Lynn was very, very patient with me and has been very, very patient with me. I love working for him. He's a great mentor. He is a very, very sharp individual, and it is a breath of fresh air, not only to talk to somebody that knows stuff that you don't, but to delve into a whole new facet that I haven't done, because this is my 31st year in professional archery as far as a career goes. So it was really fun to teach an old dog new tricks.
And what's really cool is you have really leaned into the whole almost taking the mantle from Lynn as far as the videos, the chopping, the pigs and the blood and the ropes and everything like that.
It's kind of fun when you do that, when you have two kids that are in high school, and people start checking out videos, and they see that my daughter is 16, and it's pretty nice to have videos circulating of me slicing a hog in half with a katana, because when boys start coming over to ask her out, there's a wealth of video out there that might just set them into a different direction.
What has been the most difficult part of just jumping in with both feet for you into taking that kind of mantle from Lynn Thompson? I mean, he had huge 30, 40 years of videos and pigs and stuff to kind of fill. What's been your most difficult part of that?
Well, the easiest part has been, as I've discussed with you and with Lynn, is it's not necessarily taking a mantle or taking the ropes and run with it. I'm more being sucked underneath Lynn's wings, and neither him nor I are spring chickens anymore. I won't tell you his age, but I can tell you I'm turning 59 in a month. So that's closing in on 60. So we're not these little young kids running around, and it's one of those things that his great tutelage has helped me become a better person or whatever. But when you say the hardest thing, here's an example of it. I was a college baseball player, a pro baseball player. I was drafted out of college, drafted out of high school actually too. So everything that I did was swinging, and that's why I like to throw a lot. I still have a pretty decent wing on my upper body here, and that works pretty well. But swinging is completely different. And when I got out to Lynn, stepping with the correct foot so that you clear out space so that you can have that follow through and you don't cut your leg off or cut your kneecap or your calf, that's completely different than everything that I have learned. Everything has always been, I'll give you an example. I use this guy's arm, but that's all right. So like if I'm striding into something, I'm hitting it right here. Well, I can't do that because my knee is down here. So it's one of those things you chop like this so that you clear all this out. So that's been a hard thing for me to program into my head. And with T involved, she's an All-American softball player. She was the same way. So you'll see a lot of us. We're not necessarily ramping up. We're trying to figure out our foot. It's like we're dancing and somebody's teaching us something and we're not sure what we've got to do. Anybody out there need a hand?
So everything's been like almost counterintuitive to what you've been used to as a baseball player.
Yeah, it's everything that I learned, everything that I did with follow through and making sure that you know carried on and let that momentum go. All has to stop now. You know, when you cut through something, you have to stop it. And I overswung at first, and Lynn worked with me, and Luke LaFontaine worked with me a lot. But I would catch myself overswinging and like taking a ball to the the boneyard. Here we go. I'm knocking this thing out of the park. Well, with a sword, you got to stop, or it's real dangerous. So that's all been kind of new to me, as far as learning the steals and stuff like that. That's all new, but that's kind of a fun educational piece. The dangers are when you're learning swords and you're my age and you're not 6 and you're not playing around with whatever and whatever your whole life. You got to be real careful. And there's times, and I the whole backstory. I mean, I wrote a book. It's called That's Going to Leave a Mark. It's on Amazon. It's 20 short stories of me being the most accident-prone person in the world. So if you actually have that title and then your company puts you into swords and knives, it's probably not the best combination of things that you can have. And but with that, I really have to pay attention because I've had my ulnar nerve removed off of my elbow down here, your funny bone nerve, and that's put underneath my forearm muscles because I ripped it off of my hand. And it took about 5 surgeries to get that, but my hands are dead. These 3 fingers down here are dead, completely dead. I can't feel them. I have to look down when I'm cutting with a sword. I have to look down and make sure that I have white knuckles because all I can feel is like this stuff right here. So when I go to follow through and stuff like that, it's not like a baseball, where I can hit it and let go and carry it on if I'm hitting left-handed or right-handed even. But I need to know what's going on with these hands. And then, of course, I damaged this finger over here from this part up, so it doesn't have any feeling. So I'm down about 40% of digits.
And that you're left-handed too, so that's on your power hand.
Yeah, but luckily, like when you throw a baseball, you're getting on here, and like when I throw everything, I can still feel these fingers here, and my thumb works okay. So throwing things is real simple for me. It comes natural to me that I know I can let things go, and I still have a pretty decent arm. I've had my whole shoulder rebuilt, and I've got 2 wires that hold up my humerus to my shoulder from a motorcycle accident, but I can still throw, and that's the really fun part because it's very entertaining when something hits and sticks.
Yeah. We got somebody said in the comments that you almost qualify to be a shop teacher as far as your injuries. So
that is no lie. Well, okay, so I wrote the book in 2007 or 8, and at that time it had 20 short stories, and that had 17 broken bones. I want to say there was 15 surgeries, a skull fracture, and like 400 sutures. Now, since that time, it's 2024 now, so let's say it's been 14 years. I've had 2 med flights. I broke my back in 4 places. I've crushed my scapula, crushed my ankle, and had 31 surgeries now to repair body parts of my kind of crazy, chaotic life. My background. My dad was an Army Ranger and my mom was a super athlete. So I had 2 really good athletic parents, and I had 2 older brothers that are nuts. They're crazy. A blast to be around, but you are going to do dangerous stuff. You watch these kids doing Red Bull stuff and are dude perfect and we did that growing up every day. That was our thing, and we were always hurt. And that's where my skull fracture comes from. That's where breaking my back comes from. You're going to do stuff and put yourself in situations that aren't the wisest. And then when you start talking swords and sharp things, it's probably from a Vegas standpoint, not a real good place to put me in. But here I am.
So what do you as far as now, you've been doing this for 3 years with Cool Steel. What's your excitement as it keeps going for the future? I mean, what are you excited about that's coming up?
We've got some neat new stuff. I got some stuff I can't talk to you about that'll be coming out in 2025 because we still use the same factories Lynn does. I know that when we first transitioned over, everybody's like, the quality's already going down. We haven't changed anything. We have the same QC plan. We have engineers that oversee stuff. There have been issues, of course, but there were issues before that. But we haven't really done anything different than Lynn wanted us to do. And that's why him and I probably get along so well, is because not only do I respect him with all my heart, I was an independent businessman and grew a company. He's done it. And it's one of those things that it takes, blood, sweat, and tears to get there. And that's one of the things I think is really cool. The stuff that is coming out in 2025, it takes like 18 months. It's not like building a broadhead and I can go see a machinist. When you start talking different steels and you start talking handles and development and this, that, and the other thing, and of course we still do a ton of work with Andrew Demko. You've got to have people that understand what they're doing, and that takes time to go through all those facets. So we've got cool new stuff coming out. We got to introduce some stuff at the SHOT Show. The Archangel, things like that, the 60 series, beautiful, elegant stuff. We got some stuff coming down the pipe that is very exciting to me, because this is my favorite. That's the 6-inch holdout. Now, why is it my favorite? It's got a tapered handle on it. I can throw it, okay? now Lynn will call me up and go, quit throwing things with my liner lock in them, all right? That's not a good combination. And I have broke some stuff here a few times, probably more than I care to admit. But we're working on something that is going to be super cool in that holdout thing, that will actually have the name Stickman on it. So I'm really, really excited about that.
So it's going to be a Stickman holdout.
Well, it's something like that. I won't divulge that, but
okay,
you guys are on the right track. So
okay, that's cool.
It really is. I like products that I can throw. I had a lot of people put comments and stuff in there, never give up your weapon, so on and so forth. Well, you've been around me. 99.9% of the time, I am packing my handgun. And I have no problem throwing my knife 6 or 8 feet to start the episode, because there'll be hell to pay when I get serious about it. That's one of the neat benefits of training that with my dad being an Army Ranger, and then 2 of my best friends are actually Green Beret guys. So weapons are fun, and it's just like Lynn. He's probably one of the fastest, best shots with a handgun. I mean, I'm sure you guys saw the Australian water buffalo.
That was awesome.
Yeah, the man. I think it's like 0.2 seconds of drawing his gun and shooting eggs. He fires millions of dollars worth of rounds. I get to shoot a lot of rounds. My family grew up hunting. I bow hunted and gun hunted. All right, so knives is new for me, but with that, I always wanted to have a knife that something happens 7 feet away from me or less, and I can do something, and I know that once I release this knife, I'm not done. Lynn has like 17 knives on him, all right? And the man is an absolute animal as far as a martial artist goes, and as far as being able to defend himself with weapons. Whereas my family grew up going, all right, we're going to defend ourselves, street fighting, and you're going to have a way of ending the battle. Because we'll never start anything but my family grew up with little damn shrimp.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is in between us talking, I'm gonna mute your mic so the feedback doesn't kick back. Let me see if that works a little bit,
Okay.
and then I'll just go back to you. But since you brought it up, I've had a couple questions, and I think it's a lot of it is because people don't like change, and just on an honest level, I haven't seen it, but people are all talking about when you change factories and why did y'all change factories and then the quality dropped down. And you just addressed that. So there was no change of factories. There was no change in quality.
The, okay. Can you hear me? We did change one of the machete factories. When we first took over, there was a whole entire run that was, this was done before us because it takes 18 months. It's not like you just snap a finger. So when people were chiming in that the quality's already gone down 3 months after we took over, this is stuff that happened prior. I mean, you can't make things, happen instantly like that. So the only thing that we have changed that I am aware of is we changed the factory for the machetes. And it was, I want to say it was a South African factory. We had a whole batch come in, and I'm sure that there's been talk out there that they weren't sharp. And so one of my brand managers, he's a very dear friend of mine, who's involved with this. Every night he's talking to the Philippines or Taiwan, or I mean, he's in Japan, and he's really knocking it dead now. He's just come on board in the last like 5 or 6 months. But we moved that factory to China with the sharpening and stuff for the machetes. So that really is the only thing that you're going to see different, to my knowledge. And I'm pretty privy to that stuff. It's the changes in the quality and stuff like that. Nothing really should be different. And if you felt it in the first 18 months, that was stuff that was already ordered, approved, approved, prototype approved, production sample approved. That was stuff that happened way before we got there.
That's what I try to tell people is that, especially like you were saying, the first 18 months or so, it was a lot of, and just that fear of change. Of course, Cold Steel has following, almost a cult-like following because of Lynn Thompson, Angie Dimko, the size and just all the things you can do with their stuff. And I think people, it was almost like getting a stepdad all of a sudden, and then find out your stepdad's really really cool. But
Well, I think what we did incorrectly is our first stuff wasn't this, 5 Max and the Mayhem and stuff like that. I mean, we kicked out smaller stuff that are great everyday carries, but that was like our first sampling. And I know that Aaron from Gideon Tactical did the thing on the Razor Tech, and that was something that our engineers did, and we've learned from that. We made some mistakes, and I think if we'd have come out right away with guns ablazing, working with Lynn, working with Andrew Demko, it probably would have eased some of that pressure. Lynn is exactly like me. My company was 100% made in America, double bull archery, and we had all kinds of employees. And then when it was purchased, they took it overseas, and the quality huge on my company, Double Bull Archery, when Primos first bought us. I had to go over to China and I set 27 pages of quality control stuff, and then it came back up. And they can do a great job if they're given um, the right features and advantages. So when Lynn and I would talk, it would be, I don't want my quality to go down. And I completely understood that. I experienced that. 2007, I sold my company, and in 2008 and 9, it was like a bad word was my company before, and it had always been this breath of beautiful uh, product. And it was one of those things that I completely understood and really kind of worked with Lynn on the idea of I'm not going to let that happen. And I don't have all the say in the company. I'm not that high of a pay grade compared to some, but um, we're damn sure working on making certain that that quality stays there.
Okay, I'm gonna let them ask a couple questions, and I'm gonna ask you a couple questions. As far as what I had one person ask, what if you had to carry one cold steel folder?
I can't hear you.
Oh, okay.
I
If you
can't
had
hear
to,
you.
can you hear me now?
I can't hear you.
Okay, hold on a second. 1 second.
Nothing.
How about
I
now?
can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? How about now? No?
No audio.
Can y'all hear me in the comments? Can y'all hear me? 1 second. 1 second.
I have no audio. No audio.
I'm getting back in here. Hold on a second. How about now?
Yep.
All right, cool.
All right. I
Okay,
didn't hear much of what.
what I had one person ask a question. If you don't, you had one cold steel knife you could carry as far as a folder. What are you grabbing?
My 6-inch holdout I carry with me everywhere. I love our Engage with the Atlas lock system. It's very, very easy to operate. You can loan it to anybody, and that lock is so secure, and that knife is so tough. It's a nice pocket knife, a great everyday carry. Um, I don't carry a knife to do chores. If I do, it's the Tough Light. I'm actually going to be doing a video on that. I think when I cranked it down in our testing, in the jig over here that busts stuff, I got it up to almost like 400 pounds of force before it broke the Tough Light. Now that's got the triad lock system in it. It's got the 2.5 or 3-inch blades, super lightweight. It's like 3 ounces. So if I was going to be carrying a knife all the time for everyday chores, or if I was at a buddy's farm or something like that, it'd probably be the Tough Light. But me walking around everywhere I go, once I figured out I could throw this holdout, it's just with me.
Are you guys have? I mean, I don't know. I know I talk to you guys a lot, but I don't know what if there are a lot of if there are plans for more Atlas lock knives coming up.
I can't. I don't even know what was on the whole board of stuff. I'm trying to go back to our innovations meeting and think. I think there is some more coming out. I know that there's some pretty neat stuff that is kind of a cross pollination of things, between different um, people that have designed for us, from the Andrew Demkos to our engineers to Wes's works and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff in the pipe coming down, and it'll be real interesting to see what makes the final stage. Right now, I think we're SKU heavy, but then again, we're not picking up the things that I keep track of people's comments and stuff, and I love it when somebody says, "Hey, you need to bring back." You need to bring back. Well, that's somebody that's talking about their love and their experience and passion for that knife. And I think that's what we have to do more than anything is we have to listen to you guys. We're not. I'm not Lynn, and I'm not Andrew Demko. We're GSM, and we're using Lynn. We're using Andrew Demko, but we need to hear from you guys, and that's the big thing. Our team is not the knife generation. It's not the knife nation. We're learning that slowly but surely, but that's where we have to listen and we have to get input from you guys. you know, I get it on this YouTube channel, and I know there's haters out there all over the place, and I have very thick skin. I grew up with 2 older brothers and a dad that was tougher than hell. So you're not going to bother me, but it's amazing to me the people that just chime in just to bitch about stuff. You know, give me a solution. All right. Everybody's got a complaint. Okay. I understand that. Everybody can bitch about everything in the world, but you and I both know when, and you know me, when I wake up in the morning, I'm just as giddy as I am now. I am grateful to all being that I am here once again, especially as accident prone as I've been. You know, I'm one of these guys that probably very few people can do or say is I've had my dad, my brother, and my son die in my arms. Okay. I've been through shit. So I can tell you right now, you're not going to affect me by mouthing off on YouTube. If you want to come play, give me solutions, give me suggestions, give me stuff that I can work with, because everybody can be a cynic. It's hard to be positive. And that's why I fell in love with you and your wife. I mean, you guys are the salt of the earth. I mean, it's just fantastic. And Lynn's that same way. He's critical on me and he's tough on me trying to get stuff right. But he is the salt of the earth. And that's what I get excited about, is being around people and being around people that can suggest things and give me ideas so I can pass on ideas so that we can make the stuff that you guys want.
So the best way to do this is, so you got all these fans out here, people, hey, bring back the Recon, bring back this. Is it commenting on your videos, or is it emailing Cold Steel? Because I think a lot of people don't think that their voice is heard. Or, I know that y'all are doing what you can, but a lot of people that don't know you or don't know the people at Cold Steel might feel that, why comment? Nobody's looking at this.
Oh, actually, I am, and I've given away my email address. It's stick@gsmorg.com, and I'm very good at answering emails. And if anybody has won one of my giveaways, they know that I've called them, I've given them my cell phone number, I've texted them, I've stayed in touch with them. All right, that's who I am. I'm a genuine person. You will never catch me in a lie. I don't have to worry about anything to remember, especially as I get older. But my dad taught me that a long time ago. If you tell a lie, you got 17 more to cover that one, blah, 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 blah. So you're going to find out that, I communicate. I am overwhelmed in some of the stuff that I do, because I do all the audio visual for all 91 of our brands. But Cold Steel is something that requires heart and requires compassion. We have to listen, and that's 80% of success, is turning your ears on. So no different than the company that I owned. That was the way we did it, and that's the way that I'm going to do it. So if you guys have questions, don't even hesitate. Type in stick@gsmorg.com in the email address and fire it to me. I might not answer it instantly. I could probably show you something here. Oh, you're on my phone. Duh, I was looking for my phone. See, that's when you start noticing your age. But on that phone there, I think there is 5,300 emails that are unanswered so far from my company to me. Probably in 300 text messages that I've gotten. But I get around to it, and I'm not somebody you can't talk to. Actually, I'm on.
Okay, I got a couple questions. I got one from Craig Vincent. He says, "Wait, I don't have a Razor Tech. I was going to get one. Should I not?"
The Razor Techs, when Aaron did that thing, they were way overpriced. They're a fun knife. They're a great knife now for the value. Okay, we have wised up and brought it down to what it should be. And he pointed out the things that really were lacking on it, and it was more than anything. It was the cost of it. So it's back in line now. It's a great looking knife. It's a great knife. But that's the other thing too, is I pay attention to a lot of different users from Joe X, and I've communicated with him over and over. And you got Adam Cheladine, here's this, I guess, my mentor as far as throwing knives goes. I talk to these guys, Soul Thrower on TikTok, people like this. And then when they do reviews, you have to pay attention. You got to kind of suck it up and tuck your tail between your legs and learn that sometimes salt tastes like salt. And you have to hear what people are saying. You know, you can't always make all the changes that everybody wants all at once, but you really shouldn't be ignorant. You know, and the definition of ignorant is the inability to learn. So you shouldn't be that way. You should always kind of hear what's going on out there. And if there is either constructive criticism or things don't work or things that could be better, those are all a wealth of different understanding and ideas that you have to capitalize on.
Yeah, I got a couple people asking about possibly taking the Atlas lock and put them on existing knives like the Lawman, and I think somebody said the Holdout. Is that, you think that's a possibility, or are those locked in for the Demco lock?
Those will probably be the Demco lock because they're so tried and true. You know, the holdout would be a neat one. You know, it's just got the holdout. I seriously love this thing. Okay, it's just it's one of those things. I don't know if the Atlas, it probably, you know, one of the things with the Demco lock, and you guys know this as well as I do, you get a brand new knife. And let's say I got T here, or I got Sims here, you know, two of the ladies that cut and throw with me, they can't push the thing down. You know, they don't have that thumb strength to get that down. So breaking it down is a little bit tougher until you get used to it, or until it breaks in a little bit. So there are those things that can probably transfer over. You know, I know there was the Atlas lock people out there that were saying, well, if you're smashing into it, you know, your hand could slide down. Well, I don't want to use perversion, but if you're jerking a knife off, you can probably make that lock slide, you know, and that's one of those things that we can make anything fail if we test it in a manner that we want it to fail. You know, the mayhem probably, I don't remember the weight that we went up to on the thing that Gideon Tactical actually, or not Gideon Tactical, but Tactical Survival built for us. But I think it was at 1,798 pounds. Um, that's pretty stout. I mean, I don't know too many people that hang a ton of stuff literally off their knife.
Oh yeah, I had some question. I had a couple questions about different colors. I know a lot of people like different colors. Is that ever a possibility, like an 80-10 and orange or something?
Yeah, in fact, orange is a neat thing because I'll tell you my love for orange is I have hunted all over the world, bow hunted all over the world, and I've watched people field dress animals. You know, I carried my little knife there that had kind of an orangish handle on it, but I tied a bright orange lanyard on it. So if I set it down when I'm getting an animal or whatever, I know where to find it. We got the Ultimate Hunter in orange, but I want them to start bringing back that blaze orange in a few more of the products because that's when it lends itself really well to the guys that are working on the farm. Maybe they're carrying it around and doing a lot of things with it, and you set it down a lot. Being able to glance around and go, oh, there's the orange handle. There's where my knife is. You know, look down and go, there's my orange handle. You know, the black, especially at night, especially in low light, it's tough to find. You know, I speaking of colors, I mean, we got the little itty bitty Espada XL with the red G10 handle on it. Now, see, that's what I like too because it's got Demco's pocket catch on there. Um, that's the thing that the holdout should have. You probably can see I have an aftermarket piece on here. I'll probably get fired for this, so this might be the last time that you guys ever talk to me.
About the orange thing, I'm not gonna act like I'm a huge hunter, but I was hog hunting last year, and I like to bring some cold steel out into the world and hand it out. And I gave them orange Ultimate Hunter and the one with the secondary lock and the line lock, and they both told me stories about just that year how their knife fell out and they spent all night looking for it and couldn't find it. So yeah, orange for hunters especially.
Yeah, the double safe is the other one that you're talking about there. And I just did this video, and it'll be coming out. This is not going to be an orange. Um, But, and you can see it's got I need to clean it up a little bit. It's been through Bob the Dummy over here. But this is the classic, Bear Classic. Now, if you really wanted to, you could probably make something like this and have a brighter handle on it. This is a piece of history there, right? It's one of the things is designed to stab and to be a defense system, but also a hunting machine. That goes with me to the blind. If I'm ever attacked by a mountain lion out west or whatever, I hope to goodness that I have the wherewithal to go, ooh, I've got my Bear Classic on me and we're going to have a battle. So, yeah, but orange is a great idea.
Okay, I got somebody, and I think one of the issues that the old fans are having with kind of the new cold steel idea is the customer service, and as far as having to, like, if they need a piece to a knife, instead of getting the piece, they're asked just to send the entire knife back. Is that ever going to change, or is that just something we have to get used to?
No, it's not anything that anybody has to get used to. But it is a customer service issue that has been brought up more times than not, and we really truly are working on it. There are a lot of customers in the cold steel world, and one of the problems with great big companies is it's really kind of hard to keep that finger on the pulse at times of customer service. And they are putting a whole nother phone bank center in. I don't know what the status of the actual protocol will be as far as if they can send out parts or not, or they just replace the knife. But it's something that we know, we're aware of it, and I appreciate everybody's patience out there, um, dealing with us and that cold or that customer service where it's at.
I had a overseas question here, and he said that a lot of the fixed blades in the UK are being discontinued. And is that on y'all's end, or how's that working?
That's not anything that I know about. I can't speak to that. I'd be lying if I said anything. I don't believe that has to be something that's being done over there. I can't see it on our side.
Okay, if y'all have any more questions, get them in here. I'm gonna wrap this up with Beamer here. I don't want to keep him too long.
Do this
Okay.
like every 2 weeks.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
You're touching base with a lot of people, and I think we can get more and more people involved here. And that's what we've got to have. In order to be better, and do a better job of things, we have to listen. We have to listen. We have to answer questions. Sometimes questions aren't easy. Some of them are tough. But I think you and I should be doing this like once every 2 weeks or once every 3 weeks, jumping on board, and let's just bounce this back and forth. We could talk about certain products on a day or whatever, but get people's feedback. And this is one of the coolest ways to do it. And what I think about you and your wife. I love you guys to death. So it's one of those things. I think that we could probably do this a lot more.
Oh, that would be awesome. I'm totally down for that. I'm down for whenever you want to talk to me. So that's cool. Okay, I have one question on the Magna Cut Recon. Do you know when that's going to drop, and any of the new stuff that's supposed to drop? Do you know if that's coming up?
Well, when I was at the SHOT Show, and the lead engineer, the lead production manager, um, I thought he said that the Archangel would hit around June, and the Magna Cut was soon to follow after that. Now, I'm going off of memory of what I heard him telling somebody that was interviewing him, but I think that's where that sets right now. And that's going to be some fun stuff. If you take the most accident-prone person in the world and you give them a butterfly knife, I can promise you this: Loctite super glue is better than any Dermabond, any Gorilla. It's the best super glue to glue things up. Like the other day when I talked to you, I had cut my finger, probably needed 3 stitches through there, but I glued it, and then I glued the side of my hand here when I was cleaning up. This one actually got nailed on a rib on the dummy when you're stabbing them and hitting them with stuff. And I pull my hand out, and it's ink dyed, red, and you think, well, that's just that. And then all of a sudden it's still dripping, and you realize you're bleeding. So this guy here kind of owned me this time, but you'll see in the new video that I take his head off. That's that's. Can you see that? Where are my fingers?
No, move over just a
Here.
little bit. There you go.
Okay, so that is really, really square right there. And this is a rock solid piece of spine. Yeah. So he got to meet me. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Craig says he just wants to say hello and that a lot of people appreciate the work you're trying to do. So,
God love him. Thank you very, very much. It's one of those things. I'm new to this, not so much new anymore, but this was all new to me, and I have tried to listen, and I have loved working under Lynn, and and Luke LaFontaine and Ron Balicki behind the scenes. There's the toughest hombre there is. I mean, I thought maybe my dad might have been that, but I can tell you between Lynn and Ron, they hold a really close second to, or first, to the toughest people on earth. And our family came from that. So I really appreciate when somebody respects the idea that I'm trying.
okay, I'm going to ask you two more questions, then I'll let you go. I have Peterbilt Knife Guy. He wants to know, are replacement sheaths available for the chopper, the competition chopper? And then the Chug Dude wants to know, and kind of a reference to the previous question, can we expect any more things coming out in Magna Cut?
Oh, I'm. First of all, I'll find out the answer on the extra sheaths available for the chopper. I can't answer that. And I'm gonna guess. It's just an assumption. I know you're not supposed to make assumptions, but I'm gonna guess yes on the Magna Cut.
All right, I'm gonna let you go here. This was so awesome. I so appreciate you coming on and talking to me and talking to everybody. I think you're right. I think a live interaction with you is just amazing for all the people that are fans of Cold Steel. And I really hope we can do this really, really soon.
We will, and we'll make. Now that I kind of know how it rolls, I'll make sure that the furnace is shut off. And the guy that owns a body shop here next to my facility, I heard him fire his car up, and it gets kind of distracting at times when you get that. So we may do it like after like 3:30 the next time, where everybody here is shut down in the building, and we can do it if that works for you.
Yeah, whenever you want to do it, I'm down. So yeah, just let me know what time is good for you. And again, I want to say thank you, Beamer, thank you everybody that showed up to talk to Stick today. And this was really, really exciting for me. Thank you so much.
God bless each and every one of you.
All right, everybody. I hope that was awesome. I had fun, and it's really cool that he wants to keep doing it. So I will talk to you guys later. And you want to hit me up, Jimmy/YouTube@yahoo.com. And he gave you out his email and stuff. And man, it should be cool. It'd be so cool if this became a regular thing. So let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to you soon.